If customer service is stopping you from opening your Etsy shop, or the thought about talking to customers just terrifies you, then in this video, I'm going to give you my best tips for how to deal with customer issues, as well as how to provide the best customer service. Let's just get right into it. So there's 3 components that I want to talk to you about customer service or policies: is cancellations, returns, and exchanges. So you have to figure out from the beginning, are you going to offer any of these or none of these, or what are you wanting to do? So in my shop currently, I don't offer cancellations, I don't offer returns, I don't offer exchanges. As far as cancellations, how I deal with them is I do not offer them, but I am flexible in the sense of, like, if a customer orders something and they message me right away saying like, hey, I don't want this anymore, it's a mistake, or whatever the reason is, can I cancel it? I do, because they just literally like order the item. I haven't even sent it to production. Yes. Or maybe it's been like a day and the item just went into production. I do reach out to Printify, and as long as they give me my money back, I do cancel the item. So again, I don't offer cancellations, but I'm flexible in the sense of, like, if the customer messaged me right away and the order hasn't gone into production, or maybe the order went into production, but I'm still able to get my money back, then I do cancel the item. So it all depends on when the customer reaches out. I haven't had an issue that a customer waited like 2, 3, 4 days later. They usually message me right away or within like 1 day, and I'm usually able to cancel the order. The next thing is exchanges. Again, I don't offer exchanges because I don't want to give up my address. So it kind of comes down to like how comfortable you are with giving out your address, or are you going to get a PO box? So again, I don't offer exchanges, but I do offer a coupon code. So like, for example, if a customer messages me and they say, hey, can I get another size? You know, this one is too small, whatever the reason is that they want to exchange it, I usually tell them like, hi, such and such, like, thank you so much for reaching out. Unfortunately, because all of our items are made to order for each customer, I don't accept returns or exchanges, but here's a coupon code for X, Y, and Z. So I usually offer a code that's about 50% off, because that usually puts me at like maybe like a break even, or maybe like I made a couple cents price. And most customers have taken advantage of this. They actually love it. I haven't had any issues. So it's been great. So again, if you don't want to offer exchanges, you can just offer like a big coupon code and people will be happy with that. So I also do not offer returns, but I do have exceptions to rules depending on what the reason is I wanted to have a return. So again, I do have a policy that if there's like a quality issue, people do need to reach out within 30 days of the item being delivered, because again, that's also Printify's policy. Like, in order for you to get Printify to either offer you a refund or a reprint, like, you do have to reach out to them within 30 days of the item being delivered. And that's the same policy that I kind of extend to my customers. So again, what are the exceptions to the rules of why I would take a refund? Quality issues, meaning like the customer, item showed up and the printing is already, kind of coming off, or it was crooked, or they got the wrong size, or maybe I made a mistake and it was a personalized item and I put, the wrong name or the wrong design. Anything related to that, if it's my fault, obviously I will go and like refund the customer or reprint the item at my cost. If it's issue from Printify, meaning like Printify sent the wrong item, the shirt or sweatshirt, whatever it is, kind of crooked. If it's on Printify's side, then I will go into the chat box and I will talk to them and I will let them know. And again, you do have to have a photo for this. So make sure that you are reaching out to your customer and you asking for a photo of the whole design, because they need to make sure that they can see it. And Printify will either offer you a reprint or a refund depending on what the customer wants. So when the customer reaches out, make sure that you ask them all these questions. Just say like, hi, Mary, thank you so much for reaching out. We apologize that, your sweatshirt, let's say, showed up, you got the wrong size. Like, can you please send me a photo so I can escalate that to my print provider? And that's kind of how I will say that. So then once you get the photo, again, you give it to Printify or you chat them and send it to Printify. And then again, customers will usually tell you like, oh, can you send me another one, or I just want my money back. And that's what you would tell Printify. And then that's how you usually deal with quality issues. I've had some instances, like 2 instances with 2 customers reach out like after 30 days. Like, I actually had a customer that waited like 3 months to let me know that there was like an issue. And usually at that point, like there's nothing I can do. The most I was able to do is kind of give them a coupon, because at that point it's like, if there was an issue, like why did you wait this long? Like most, retailers offer like a 30-day policy, even 60 days maybe, but mine's 30 days. And usually that's when I'm kind of like make a cutoff. Like if customers waited way past that, I just offer them like a discount. But there isn't much I can do, because at that point it's usually past the 30 days. I've only had this issue happen twice, so it does not happen often. Most of the times I'm able to work something out with the customer. Another issue you might inquire is an item being lost or showing as delivered, but the customer doesn't have it yet. So if it's showing up as delivered, let's say the item was supposed to be delivered, yesterday, and the customer reaches out today, I usually send them a message and let them know that sometimes the USPS will mark an item as delivered, but it takes a couple more days for it to be delivered. I was like, let's give it a couple more days, and I'm gonna reach out if in a couple of days is hasn't been delivered, then we'll take it from there. So usually like a couple of days later, I will message them again to see if the item was delivered. If it's yes, we're all happy. If it's not, then I will make sure that they check with neighbors, check with the post office, and then I will reach out to Printify. And then at that point, the item is considered lost. And again, Printify will either offer a reprint or a refund, depending on what your customer wants to do. Another common issue you might have is wrong address. People sometimes give you the wrong address, or they move, or whatever the reason is. Sometimes people will purchase and they will immediately message me and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I put in the wrong address. Usually in that instance, you're able to go and edit the order and put it through Printify. Or sometimes if the order is already in production, what I usually do is I will reach out again to Printify and ask them if they can change the address, and usually they're able to change it. What happens is when the order gets sent back to sender, meaning it gets sent back to Printify, if the customer wants the order again, Printify will charge you a shipping fee, or they will charge you for the shipping. So either, let's say for a shirt it will be $4.75, or for a sweatshirt it will be $8.49. So at that point, you got to figure out, are you going to eat that cost, or are you going to put it on your customer? And I usually put it on them, because again, it's their responsibility to provide me with the correct address. I cannot be chasing after them to make sure that the address is correct. So in that case, I usually tell them oh, we'll be happy to, send you another one, but we do charge a reshipment fee. And again, the way that I set this up is I create a whole other listing on Etsy that they can buy, and then I'll just tell Printify hey, I want to resend this order, I approve for you charging me for the shipping, and then I'll give them the new customer's address. Other questions you might get is about express shipping and expedited shipping. So right now, Printify offers express shipping on the Gilding 5000 and the Bella Canvas 3001, and it's only in certain colors, and it's only on front print. So again, if customers are interested in that and you offer one of those two items, you can do that for them. The expedited shipping, that one's a little bit different, because again, the processing time will stay the same. It's only going to cut down on the shipping. So usually when customers reaches out for that, I'm very upfront and I tell them yes, we do offer expedited shipping, but that's only going to cut on the shipping time. We do still have a processing time of how you have your processing time set up. We still have a processing time of 2 to 6 business days. So I usually tell people that, and depending on what they respond, then they can decide, okay, yeah, I want to pay for it, or no, I'll just take my chances. So I'm usually very upfront with letting them know, just because they pay for expedited shipping, it's not going to cut on the processing time. The processing time will stay the same. Again, the point is not to be terrified of customers, guys. It's about coming at it from a very understanding, empathetic, and professional. Every time that I deal with a customer, I always try to put myself in their shoes, and I always try to be understanding. I always say hi, their name, thank you so much for reaching out, and I always say we apologize for X, Y, and Z. Even if the issue is not my fault, I always apologize, because sometimes people just want to vent. Sometimes people just want to be heard. And you'll be surprised as to how many bad experiences people have on Etsy, because so many Etsy sellers are pretty rude, disrespectful, or they don't even respond to customers, that sometimes, customers just doesn't know how to come at it, or sometimes they're just having a bad day. So you being reactive and being emotional is not going to help the situation. if you have to take a step back and come back, but always be professional. I always say hi, their name. Thank you so much for reaching out. We apologize that you got the wrong size. We apologize that whatever the issue is, and then offer a solution right after that. And even when customers are upset, they usually message me back and they're like, thank you so much for being so responsive. Thank you so much for working something out. People sometimes just want to be heard. People sometimes just want to know like you care, that there's a person behind there that they can trust. And again, guys, like this is a customer-centric business. So you want to be able to put your best foot forward, because these are people that can turn into repeat customers. You can turn a bad experience into a really great experience, or they can tell their friends and family about you. They can even say like, oh, I had like a bad experience. Like, I got the wrong item, but they made things right so quickly by sending me a new one right away. So again, it's not about like letting customers take advantage of you, because that's not what it's about. You do have to put your foot down. When you have to put your foot down, like you do have to, talk about your policies. Like if you don't accept returns and exchanges, stand by that, but just be flexible and always know that there's exceptions to rules. Like if there is a problem with the item, like you should make things right for the customer. And there are times that it might not be a problem with the item. Maybe people just don't like it or whatever it is. Like maybe you can offer them a coupon, or sometimes you can just, take the fault or take the, and take the loss and offer them a refund. Just treat each customer or each message as it comes. Always, put your best foot forward. Always be professional. Always be empathetic, be understanding, and get the emotions out of it. And again, if you haven't even opened the Etsy shop yet, then I'm going to be linking this video next, because on that video, I literally do a whole walkthrough from opening your Etsy shop as well as linking it to Printify. See you on the next one.